Good morning and welcome to Channel 44. I am Mercy Gashegu Sembatia to bring you this morning's news update live on Channel 44 on the 19th of January 2023. Well, I'll be joined later on by Livingstone Kawesi for sign language interpretation and translation. Now we'll start with what's happening around us here in Uganda. Uganda starts drilling oil next month. Country to produce 230,000 barrels a day by 2025. Details of this story are on page 5 of today's New Vision. Get yourself a copy and see how this is happening. And when we start, UPDF Pioneer class graduates at National Defense College. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni is seen with senior army officers who graduated at the National Defense College at Naminya Njeru town in Buyikwe district yesterday. The officers have been undergoing training in national security and strategic course since January 2022. Parliament intervenes in NSSF top job. It's on page 7 of today's New Vision. And also the Anglican Church names 3 new bishops. In the series of the New Vision, they bring you Chayonka from trial recruit to Shell boss, and members of Parliament. Police probe Budo Vienna homosexuality allegations. There has been a message going around about Wood King's College Budo being involved in homosexuality, and members of Parliament and police have probed into these homosexuality allegations in these schools. Get yourself a copy of today's New Vision and see what is happening. And also in the New Vision today, there are over 230 tenders, opportunities in Newrest, RTI International, Silver Fleet Car Rental, East Africa Crude Oil Pipeline, and Uganda Warehouse Systems Authority, and many others in today's New Vision. Off to the Daily Monitor, a big headline, NSSF power fight. The Daily Monitor traces the origin of the fights, lies, conflict of interest, and the battle for control of NSSF. They also look into the funds board that holds an extraordinary meeting over the reported management crisis, and the managing director speaks out, tells savers the fund is running well. In today's Daily Monitor, it's a special coverage of that story. Among trashes, Uganda Airlines, probe report. Speaker among lashes out at Lazy Senyonyi as she trashes Uganda Airlines probe report in today's Daily Monitor. Moving on, city pastor charged with rape. Get yourself a copy and know who. And also Anglican Church elects bishops. They bring you Reverend Onesimus Asimwe of North Kigezi Diocese, Reverend Enos Kito Kagodo of Mukono Diocese, Reverend Canon Simon Akola Isu of Northern Karamoja, and many others in today's new Daily Monitor. Right now, allow me to take you straight into our international news update. I'll now be joined by Livingstone Kawesi for sign language interpretation and translation. We'll start with what's happening in the United States. Just days before Donald Trump hosts his first 2024 event in South Carolina, a state whose evangelical population has long played a critical role in his presidential primary, the former president is lashing out at religious conservatives who have declined to endorse his third presidential campaign. Trump's comments to conservative journalist David Brody in a broadcast interview on Monday, in which he decried the disloyalty of evangelical leaders who have withheld public support for his campaign, were the latest in a series of bewildering remarks he's made about one of the most critical voting blocs in a Republican primary. Moving on, Jacinda Ardern has announced she will quit as New Zealand Prime Minister next month, saying she's no longer has enough in the tank to lead. Ms. Adena choked up as she detailed how 6 challenging years in the job had taken a toll on her. She will step down as Labour Party leader not later than the 7th of February, and there will be a vote in the coming days to determine her replacement. New Zealand will hold a general election on the 14th of October. Ms. Adena, who is aged 42, said she has taken time to consider her future over the summer break. And in Italy, a second hideout used by Italy's most wanted mobster Matteo Messina Denaro has been discovered at the back of a wardrobe with a sliding base, according to Italian police. The newly discovered armored bunker is in a house about 300 meters from the mafia boss's first hideout in the Cilician town of Campobello di Mazzara. He was arrested on Tuesday at a private clinic in Sicily's capital, Palermo. Police has been hunting Messina Denaro for 3 decades. Messina Denaro was undergoing treatment for cancer at the clinic and had made the appointment under a false name. Elsewhere, Germany no longer depends on Russian imports for its energy supply, according to the country's finance minister. Christian Lindner said Germany had completely diversified its energy infrastructure since Russia's invasion of Ukraine last year. Following the invasion, Russia turned off the gas taps to Europe, leading to fears of blackouts this winter. Germany has found out that new sources of energy, and they say Germany is still dependent on energy imports, but today not from Russian imports, but from global markets. U.S. Coast Guard says it is tracking a suspected Russian spy ship off the coast of Hawaii in international waters as heightened tensions between Washington and Moscow remain over Russia's war in Ukraine. In recent weeks, the U.S. Coast Guard has continued to monitor a Russian vessel believed to be an intelligence gathering ship off the coast of the Hawaiian Islands, according to the USCG in a news release. The Coast Guard noted the situation is not unusual, but that it is tracking it closely. While foreign military vessels may transit freely through the U.S. Economic Exclusive Zone EEZ as per customary international laws, foreign flagged military vessels have often been observed operating and loitering within Coast Guard District 14's area of response. This is not the first time suspected Russian spy ships have sailed off the coast of the United States. In 2019, a Russian ship, a spy ship from Russia off the southeastern coast of the United States, was observed operating in what 2 U.S. officials told the press was an unsafe manner. In Ukraine, President Volodymyr Zelensky has said there are no accidents at wartime after 14 people died in a helicopter crash in the capital, Kyiv. Ukraine has not claimed Russian involvement, but Mr. Zelensky told the World Economic Forum in Davos that tragedy was a consequence of the war. Interior Minister Denis Monastyrsky died alongside several colleagues. Mr. Zelensky also used his video address to urge allies to quickly send more weapons before new Russian offensives. That this time the free world uses to think is used by the terrorist state to kill. He explained the remarks was interpreted as a request for Germany to hurry along delivery of its much coveted Leopard tanks. And in India, 3 alleged black market immigration agents have been arrested in western India in connection with the case of an Indian family who froze to death on the United States border with Canada last year, according to police yesterday. Deputy Commissioner Chaitanya Mandik with Ahmedabad Police's crime branch named the suspects as Yogesh Patel, Bravesh Patel and Dashrath Chondre, and they're in police custody and have been charged with culpable homicide, human trafficking, criminal conspiracy, and an attempt to commit culpable homicide. The 3 men are also suspected of facilitating illegal migration from the state of Gujarat to the United States via Canada. And in Asia, China may be one step closer to losing its place as the world's most populous country to India after its population shrunk for the first time since 1960. The country's population fell in 2022 to 411 billion, down some 850,000 people from the previous year, according to China's National Bureau of Statistics in an announcement during a Tuesday briefing on annual data. The last time China's population decreased was 1961 during a famine that killed tens of millions of people across the country. This time, a combination of factors are behind the drop. The far-reaching consequences of the one-child policy China introduced in the 1980s but has since abandoned, changing attitudes towards marriage and family among Chinese youth, entrenched gender inequality, and the challenges of raising children in China's expensive cities. Experts warn that if sustained, the trend could also pose a problem for the rest of the world, with China playing a key role in driving global growth as the second largest economy. A falling population is likely to exacerbate China's problems with an aging workforce and a drag on growth, adding to its woes and its struggles to recover from the pandemic. Well, that brings us to the end of this morning's news update. Thank you for watching Channel 44. I remind you that we are still helping the people of Karamoja. Please join us by sending your seed to the numbers that will be availed during the services. Alternatively, we are having revival services every day here at the Miracle Center Cathedral. You can come with your seed and give it to the pastor himself, Pastor Robert Kayanja, and he will pray a special blessing upon you. The Pastors Now program is up next with Pastor David Makoko and the other pastors as they bring us the wonderful things the Lord has done in our midst. So stay tuned to Channel 44. Good morning and God bless you.